Hello, and welcome. You are watching Prime Pulse News USA. Let's get started. Headline: One tragedy at Evergreen High School. One student killed, 2 injured, suspect dead by suicide. A shocking act of school violence has shaken Colorado. At Evergreen High School, 1 student was killed, 2 others were wounded, and the suspected gunman, also a student, died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. The tragedy has reignited urgent questions about school safety across the United States. Pushpin: What happened? On Wednesday, September 10, 2025, at approximately 12:24 p.m., gunfire erupted inside and outside the campus of Evergreen High School. Authorities say the shooter, a student at the school, used a revolver to fire multiple shots. 1 student was killed instantly. 2 others were struck by gunfire and rushed to the hospital. The shooter later turned the weapon on himself. He was transported to a medical facility but did not survive. Pushpin: Victims' conditions. Doctors report that 1 student remains in critical condition, while another suffered non-life-threatening injuries. Emergency teams responded within minutes, ensuring that all wounded were transported for immediate treatment. Pushpin: Law enforcement and rescue deputies from the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office reached the campus within minutes. They located the suspect within 5 minutes of arrival. The school was placed under lockdown. Parents were directed to a reunification site at nearby Bergen Meadow Elementary School. Hundreds of students were escorted out of the building as law enforcement secured the area. Pushpin: Community reactions. Students described hearing loud pops, at first mistaking the sound for something harmless, before panic and chaos spread throughout the school. Parents rushed to the scene, some in tears, others calling out for their children at the reunification center. Evergreen, a quiet mountain town with about 900 students enrolled in its high school, is now left shaken and grieving. Pushpin: Government response. Colorado Governor Jared Polis called the event an unacceptable tragedy, stressing that schools must be safe places for every child. District and state officials have vowed to review safety protocols and ensure stronger protections for students and staff. Closing. The Evergreen High School shooting is more than just a local tragedy, it is a national wake-up call. A place meant for learning has once again turned into a scene of fear and violence. As families mourn and the wounded fight to recover, one haunting question remains: how many more lives must be lost before America finds real solutions to stop school shootings? Headline: To Assassination of Conservative Activist. The Charlie Kirk shooting, events, reactions, and investigation in Utah, a shocking act of political violence has rocked the nation. Conservative activist and co-founder of Turning Point USA, Charlie Kirk, was fatally shot during a campus event at Utah Valley University. Officials have already called it a political assassination, and the manhunt for the attacker is underway. Pushpin: What happened? On September 10, 2025, around midday, Charlie Kirk was hosting his American Comeback Tour, and his widely followed Prove Me Wrong debate session at the Orem campus of Utah Valley University. Suddenly, a single gunshot rang out. The bullet struck Kirk in the neck. He was rushed to the hospital, but doctors could not save him. Authorities believe the shot was fired from the rooftop of a nearby academic building. Police have described it as a targeted attack. Pushpin: Investigation and legal action. Utah police and the FBI immediately sealed off the campus and launched a joint investigation. Forensics teams are reviewing ballistic evidence, while agents are combing through surveillance footage from nearby buildings. One individual was briefly detained as a person of interest, but he was later released after investigators found no direct link to the killing. The university has since canceled all classes and events. The entire UVU campus remains under lockdown while the investigation continues. Pushpin reactions. Utah Governor Spencer Cox condemned the killing, calling it a political assassination, and promising that those responsible will face the harshest consequences of the law. Former U.S. presidents and political leaders from both parties issued statements of outrage, emphasizing that free speech and open debate must never be silenced by violence. Among students and faculty at UVU, fear and shock spread quickly. Many are now questioning campus security, and some worry this incident signals a dangerous escalation of America's political divide. Pushpin context. Charlie Kirk was a prominent figure in America's conservative youth movement. As county founder of Turning Point USA, he had become one of the most recognized right-wing voices among young conservatives. His "Prove Me Wrong" campus tours drew both massive crowds and heated controversy, sparking debates across the country on issues ranging from free speech to political identity. But his death now represents more than the loss of a polarizing activist. It highlights the alarming rise of political violence in the United States, where disagreements are increasingly turning into deadly confrontations. Closing. Charlie Kirk's assassination leaves behind not only grief among his supporters, but also a chilling reminder of the fragile state of America's democracy. As the FBI and local authorities continue their investigation, one demand echoes across the nation. Justice must be served, and this cycle of political bloodshed must come to an end. Headline 3. Texas A&M fires professor over gender identity content. Administrators removed, academic freedom questioned. At Texas A&M University, a heated controversy over classroom content related to gender identity has erupted. Professor Melissa McCoul has been terminated, while a dean and English department head have been stripped of their administrative roles. Legal challenges are underway, and the incident has sparked nationwide debate over academic freedom and the political influence in higher education. Pushpin what happened? On September 10, a video circulated online showing a student confronting Professor Melissa McCoul during a children's literature class. The student strongly objected to lessons suggesting that there are more than two genders. He cited his religious beliefs and even referenced a former presidential executive order. Professor McCoul calmly responded, saying that teaching such material was both legal and academically appropriate. She added that students who felt uncomfortable had the right to leave the classroom. But according to the university, McCool's lesson did not align with the official course catalog or description. The matter had reportedly been raised during the summer, long before the video went viral. Pushpin administrative and legal actions. In the wake of the controversy, Texas A&M moved swiftly. Melissa McCoul, a senior lecturer with more than a decade of teaching experience, was fired. The fallout didn't stop there. Mark Zorin, dean of the College of Arts and Sciences, and Emily Johansson, head of the English department, were both removed from their administrative roles. Meanwhile, Texas A&M System Chancellor Glenn Hagar has ordered a sweeping audit of all courses across the system's 12 schools. The goal? To ensure that every class strictly matches the descriptions published in the official catalog. Pushpin arguments and reactions. McCool's attorney, Amanda Reichik, has come forward, insisting that the course material was entirely consistent with the catalog. She argues that McCool had taught similar content for years without issue, and was never told to make changes. Critics say the decision to fire McCool sets a dangerous precedent, threatening academic freedom. They argue that political pressure, not educational standards, is now dictating what can and cannot be taught in Texas classrooms. Pushpin political and social context. This controversy is not happening in isolation. It comes at a time when Texas lawmakers and Governor Greg Abbott are pushing stricter oversight of higher education, particularly on issues involving LGBTQ+ rights and gender identity. Republican officials have called for stronger accountability. Some demanded McCool's firing. Others went further, urging the removal of top university leaders who failed to act sooner. Supporters of academic freedom, however, warn that such political interference could reshape the very purpose of public universities, limiting open inquiry and silencing diverse perspectives. Closing. The case of Melissa McCool at Texas A&M M raises critical questions about who controls the classroom, what qualifies as acceptable academic content, and how universities will balance academic freedom with political, religious, and social pressures. As legal battles begin and public scrutiny intensifies, the outcome could set a precedent that shapes the future of higher education across the United States. You're watching Prime Pulse News USA. Stay with us and don't forget to subscribe, because your source for what's trending, what's changing, and what's next in America.